Tonight to help the Americans held captive overseas and also to improve the line of communication between the White House and their loved ones who are anxiously awaiting their safe return home. President Biden today signing an executive order designed to increase the flow of information to those families, including the government's attempts to bring their loved ones home safely. The order also outlines a plan to hold the captors accountable by imposing sanctions. All of this comes as we learn more about the U.S. veterans captured in Ukraine right now. Alexander Druki and Andy Wynn were taken prisoner by Russian forces during a battle north of Kharkiv. Both traveled to Ukraine on their own to help the country's armed forces. Well, tonight there are new updates from Alex, who has been able to contact his mom in Alabama several times recently. His mom, Bunny Druki, is joining us once again tonight with more good news. Bunny, always a pleasure to talk to you. Share with us your good news right off the bat.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on the show with you. We appreciate it. I have not heard from Alex since, well, July 8th. But I'm taking that as a good sign because they were always trying to get a message out through Alex. And I'm assuming that they've gotten their message out and that they're pleased with how it goes. But the good news is we received a box that had Alex and Andy's personal belongings in it, their passports, their credit cards, their ID cards, documentation, Andy's Bible and Alex's cap. And so that was just, it was really good to get those things.
Short of having them back in your arms, I know that those mementos are something that you will treasure until you can see your son face to face. Your reaction tonight, Bunny, to the president's executive order really opening up the lines of communication, information flowing to families such as yours in these cases where you are just desperate for good news.
Well, when I got the news, I went, woohoo! That is exciting. We have a wonderful point of contact there at the State Department, and he tells us everything that he's allowed to tell. So I'm hoping that this will free him up a little more to give us a little more than we're working on it. It'd be nice to know a few more details of how they're working on it.
Well, and I also know that you have a meeting scheduled with the State Department. Any more you can share about when that might happen?
We know we're going to have a virtual meeting soon, and we may be able to go and meet in person there in Washington, D.C.
There's been a lot of questions, Bunny. You and I have talked about this, about how Andy's doing and if he's been able to get word to his family. Have you gotten any indication on his status from Alex or from any of your contacts within the government?
No one's heard from Andy yet. And we haven't heard from Alex since we passed on that information for, Andy's, to give him Joy's phone number and his sister's phone numbers and all. So I'm not really sure how that's going.
I know that every time you talk to Alex, you're uplifted, right? It gives you hope, it gives you optimism, you get to hear his voice. As you talk to Andy's family, how are they doing with such little information and the unknown?
They are holding really strong to their faith. They know that there's got to be a reason that they haven't heard, and they don't believe it's a bad reason. And, every time Alex has been able to talk with me, he has said, I've seen Andy briefly. He looks healthy. He looked good. So I know that Alex would not be telling us that if that wasn't true.
Yeah, well, we're hoping the best for both of them and that they're back home soon. And Bunny, I know you're working on several different events to honor Alex and Andy. Tell me about some of the things that you guys have planned to keep their names in the headlines.
Well, first of all, Alex loves big dogs. The bigger, the better. If he got a dog big enough to ride, he would be pleased. So, and it's hard for large dogs like that to be adopted. So one of the things we'd like to do is hold an adoption fair just for big dogs. And we are hoping that we plan to pay some of the adoption fees for these large dogs. And we're hoping that our friends and other family members will want to contribute too. I'm not asking for money. I'm just, the more dogs that we can pay that adoption fee up front, the more homes we can find for big dogs. And I know Alex would be really, really pleased with that.
Yeah, I think there hasn't been a time that you've spoken to him that he hasn't asked about his dog, right?
That's true. I get, how's Diesel? And then he'll say, oh, I love you, Mom. And I know I come in, but that's okay.
What kind of dog is Diesel?
He is half Mastiff and half we don't know. He was a rescue. He had been abused, and Alex has had him now for a couple of years. He's about 6 years old, we think.
Well, I can hear in your voice and every time we talk how much you love your son. What do you miss most about Alex right now?
Alex would call me every night, and we would get to talk about current events and politics and, you know, religion, all those things that they tell you not to talk about when you have a family gathering. And we'd talk about hiking and where he'd been and the plans that he had made. And so I miss those nightly talks. And I miss him teasing that he's my favorite child. You know, go on, tell me, you can tell me, Mom. And I have 4 children, so, you know, but I miss his humor. I miss his conversations. I just miss being with him.
Bunny, what's the first thing that you would do if he was back on U.S. soil together?
I would probably stick closer to him than a tick on somebody. I just want to hold him and hold him and hold him until he finally says, Mom, that's enough. And then I'll hold him a little bit longer.
Bunny, Alex is blessed to have you. It's wonderful, as always, to talk to you. Thank you for giving us updates. We're thinking about you. We're thinking about Alex and Andy. Keep us posted. We'll be checking in regularly.
Well, thank you so much, Marty. We really, really appreciate it.
All right. Take care, Bunny. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.